Runners described seeing weird things. One runner stated seeing stones lined up like animals and pictures of faces on the walls of a tunnel. Another runner felt like she was being followed by someone and saw the shadow of a human figure in the tunnel close to finish line. 95 people ran a 246 kilometers or 153 miles ultra distance race in 44 hours, going up a mountain 3.2 kilometers or 2 miles and then coming back. They started running for 2 nights starting at 8 p.m. on the first day, all of second day and until 4 p.m. on the third day for a total of 44 hours. How many finished the race? Did they eat during the race? Did they sleep? Keep watching to find out. This was a run in Taiwan, a country in Asia. Of the 95 people who ran the Ultramarathon, there were 82 males and 13 females. The runners were in great shape and great health. In other words, runners who had heart problems, kidney problems, seizures did not participate in this. Now, Taiwan is a country in East Asia and is bordered by China, Japan, and Philippines. Most of Taiwan has mountains and is amongst the most densely populated countries in the world. This ultramarathon happened in a mountain range called Huan Mountains, which is 3.3 kilometers or 2 miles above sea level. Out of the 246 kilometers of the run, the first 80 kilometers were on a wide, flat, well-lit road. The next 40 kilometers had alternating uphill and downhill part. The next 110 kilometers was very difficult. There was a 40 kilometer uphill on a narrow road and then about 80 to 90 kilometers downhill. The final 25 kilometers was along rocky cliffs with tunnels. The weather was 26 degrees Celsius or approximately 75 degrees Fahrenheit on the first night and then dropped to single digit in Celsius. It was foggy and windy on the mountain summit on second day. On the third day, the weather was breezy and cool with a light shower. The runners were aged approximately between 32 years and 60 years. Out of the 95 runners who started running this ultramarathon, 33 were able to finish this. If you're into running, you know this is amazing. One runner finished the whole 246 kilometers in just 34 hours. Can you imagine the stamina of these people? All runners were permitted to rest and to freely consume water and food throughout the race, according to standard ultramarathon regulations. For the 8 runners who agreed, blood samples were taken a week before, immediately after the race, and 3 days after the race to examine some of the changes that could happen in the body. Now here's the thing, all these 8 runners claimed to have slept for only 30 minutes during the race, and this was like power naps. No runner reported headache during or after the race. No runner suffered from heat-related illness such as cramps, exertional hyperthermia, heat syncope, or body temperature of more than 104 degrees, or anything that indicated there might be heat stroke. On the other hand, no runner even had cold injuries such as hypothermia with body temperature below 95 degrees Fahrenheit, chilblains, trench foot, frostbite, or any such thing. In the last 60 kilometers, where there were multiple tunnels, runners described seeing weird things. One runner complained of seeing stones that looked distorted and experienced disorientation in the tunnel. Another runner stated seeing stones lined up like animals and pictures of female faces on the walls of the tunnel. A runner felt like she was being followed by someone and saw the shadow of a human figure in the tunnel close to finish line. Ultramarathon is very challenging, and we all know that. And these runners had a lot of training. They had been running ultramarathons anywhere between 1 to 5 years, and some of them trained with running for more than 100 kilometers a week. What are those things that the runners experienced? So the vivid things the runners experienced are called visual hallucinations. Hallucination is when someone feels things that do not exist in the real world. It may be related to seeing, hearing, smelling, or tasting. These runners had visual hallucination because of a combination of lack of sleep and vigorous exercise. There are guidelines put forth by some of the ultramarathon organizations, and they suggest to take small naps of 8 to 20 minutes during the running course. I don't think I would be able to do this, but I'm really impressed with the stamina and the health of these ultramarathon runners. So a big question I had in my mind is, did the runners have hypoglycemia or low blood sugar? If you think about it, in endurance athletes, carbohydrates are the main source of energy to keep them going. On an average, the ultramarathon runner burns about 60 kilocalories every kilometer of the race. In general, we all as humans can store about 2000 calories of glucose and absorb 250 calories per hour. So, if the runners do not get enough to eat or drink and they burn out all the glucose, how will they maintain it? Over time, there will be a net calorie loss and the glucose can go down. This can be common in runs of more than 4 hours, typically more than a full marathon or approximately 40 kilometers. If you're going on a marathon and super long run, make sure to prepare yourself. Running can put a lot of physical and psychological load. Runner's World is a website with a lot of resources, and I have left the link in the description below. Take care of yourself while you run. Don't forget to hit the like button and share. If this type of content provides value to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.